Hi, I'm Andrew Tulp. I'm a project architect and I've been at Story for almost 6 years in May. I grew up in Canada in a little town called Orillia, Ontario. I've got a wife and we've been married for 27 years. She's a good Iowa farm girl. And I've got 2 sons, one just out of college, one in college, and a daughter who's in high school as a junior. So being a good Canadian, I still play hockey 2 times a week with the same bunch of guys that I've done for 15, 20 years now. Otherwise, I'm on a building board of appeals, so that takes up some time. I'm a member at Renew Community on the worship team, so that takes up some time. But for fun, other than that, with the family, we like to travel and go camping if we can. So, like so many high school and college students, I didn't really have any idea what I wanted to do. Sort of. I kind of knew I liked science and art, and so I took all the fine art classes I could at a little high school, and then had spent 2 years at a small Christian college that I picked because my best friend was going there and I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I basically thought maybe architecture, and then I backed out and said, you know, I think I'll do an engineering degree. And so I transferred, did an engineering degree, and near the end of that I thought, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a civil engineer. I want to do architecture. And then I figured out, thankfully, that there is a path where you can either have an undergrad or a graduate degree of any kind. So I had an engineering degree with fine art, didn't matter. All that was good. I could apply as a student for a graduate degree in architecture, so that's what I did. So Rose and I dragged my poor wife all the way to Winnipeg to do my grad degree. And then I got a job in my last year grad school with a sole practitioner architect who did almost exclusively churches and a little bit of schoolwork. Was a real good experience for me, and she and I decided that we were wanting to go near someone's family, so I actually found an ad in a newspaper, of all things, for a design build job here in Ames, and I applied and got the job. So we ended up in Ames, Iowa, because that was really one of the first jobs I saw that I qualified for. So a couple things. One, the creative aspect, so you get to create something out of nothing, really. There's ideas, and then somewhere along the line becomes a building. That's super fun. And I like the collaborative piece, so it's not, you don't ever do that on your own. You're always doing that with other team members or other consultants, or in this environment, which is why I really like design build, we're working with a contractor right up front. Super fun. I like that. You know, we are all on consensus before we get to the end of the project. So I like working at Story Construction because I picked design build, and I've been doing design build for 20 years for that reason. It's fun, it's collaborative, you share responsibility for a project, but at the same time, everybody's working towards a happy ending, a good ending for the client and for us. I like that, works for me. First thing that comes to mind is I started flat out with Sieg work, and it was mostly partway designed, but it sticks in my head still because it was a big one and it was fun to do. It was a box in the end, but it was technical because it was a hazardous occupancy, so it was not the easiest, but fun, and it sticks out because it was the first one that I did at Story, and it was successful, so it was always good. Other ones that stick out are certainly Raycom because of the whole tornado thing, and we don't usually, in our little design build world, get to do multi-story buildings. We actually got to work on a 5-story building, and the food truck park was also really fun. You know, it's an unusual one. We don't get a lot of those. We won't get a lot of those probably. So that one easily stands out. Yeah, piece of advice I would say for any professional, but architects certainly, and young architects certainly, don't ever stop being inquisitive and learning, looking for information. So as an architect, you're kind of a generalist. You have some specific things, but you're a generalist. So any little more in-depth piece of knowledge you can get in any little piece that isn't your purview will only help you. And is fun if you like information and knowledge.